Alright, so in this video I'm going to be installing a radiator on this 2000 Grand Prix GTP. The radiators are a weak point on these cars and they tend to mess up after a couple of years, but since this one has about almost close to 200,000 miles, it's done fairly well, and it's been leaking from the seams where it actually holds the radiator plastic tanks. I'm just going to run real quick on what needs to be taken off. Most GM cars will be like this of the same year. Now when it comes to this though, there's going to be 4 bolts. There's going to be 2 on the sides, 2 on the top. Same deal with this other torch strut. These are torch strut mounts, so you got to remove these in order to remove the radiator. Also the brace here that comes on these cars, there's 2 of them. You can remove both of them. I'm just going to be removing one. I'm going to remove the radiator, the battery, so I have less trouble removing the whole radiator unit. There's some connectors there for the fan, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's some bolts there, and on this side that actually hold the fan units to the actual radiator. So since this is an automatic, I do also have to remove the transmission lines. There's 2 transmission lines, and I will have to use the level sensor or the coolant level sensor off of this to put it on my new radiator. Doesn't matter where you get your radiator, you either have to buy one new one or use your existing one. So this one has a broken spigot for the drain, or the coolant drain, so I gotta do this the old-fashioned way, which is taking off the hose and actually putting a bucket underneath and letting it all leak out. So I'm gonna get to doing that. I'm gonna be removing all these bolts and getting everything out of here. Alright, sorry about the wind, it's picked up quite a bit here, but what I'm doing now is removing I just removed the torch struts, and in order for the radiator to come out, they have to be moved out of the way. They just go right under there. You just pop them off. Pretty easy. What I'll be doing now is taking off the battery and get to working on the shroud for the fans. Have all this space to work on now. Alright, because I can't film this all live while I'm doing it, because sometimes something here and there takes me a little while to take off. The hardest part would be actually taking out the harness and moving it out the way, especially on this car, because it's really brittle, so it goes right in here and it's wrapped with some tape. So you got to cut off the tape, remove it out of the shroud, and kind of pull it off to the side without breaking anything. Also, the fan, removing the fan shroud on the other side. There's a 10mm, or they're all actually 10 millimeters, but all of them are really small and they're kind of hard to get to, especially the one on that side. So anybody actually attempting to do this will have to remove the air cleaner. I don't have all the air cleaner box assembled because I'm running a cold air intake, so this is me taking out the fans now. Add it kind of sideways and being careful you don't actually damage anything. Also, make sure that the transmission lines are pulled up from the bottom, because you don't want to pull this up with the transmission lines attached attached to it, and then end up damaging your transmission lines. So that's the shroud right there. It's actually 3 bolts that hold this. Now for the radiator, I'm going to zoom up on this. You can see a bolt that actually goes here, and that's also a 10 millimeter, and it takes this mount right here. This mount is what holds the radiator in there. So those are kind of a pain in the butt. But I've already gone and removed that, and I'm gonna loosen up the last transmission line. The last transmission line should be a 3/4 as well. So the top one was a 3/4. I've disconnected the coolant level sensor, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove the last transmission line here. Alright, so I removed the transmission line, and I've got it up here, the bottom one. As you can see, it was just running all along there. That corrosion is actually on my part because I kept putting too much water in there, and that's pretty bad. Now I'll be able to install the new one and put all new coolant in there and not have to worry about leaks and not worry about putting water every little while and getting that corrosion in there. The new coolant will actually take that out, all that corrosion out. I might have to do one more flush after this. But anyways, I'm going to get to putting in the new one. Alright, so as you can see, I'm getting ready to put the new one in. The new one's right here, and I'm looking and pretty much eyeballing it to make sure it's the same as the old one. And the new ones, you want to make sure that you have everything like the same mounting and everything as the other one. If you have to measure it, go ahead and measure it. Another thing, most important, is these grommets right here. They actually go on the bottom of the radiator, and you want to make sure you put them on the new radiator. Also on the new one, it has, what I did was actually remove this quick disconnect fitting from the other one. So the actual quick fittings are actually with the line, and I gotta remove the other ones so I can put them, or actually just slide them in here. Okay, so as you can see, I'm actually taking these quick disconnects off. Since I don't have the tool, I'm going to be coming in with some computer repair small flat screwdriver, and I'm going to just pick off at the end here, and I'm actually going to bring this up. I'm going to get the little screwdriver in there. You can use a pick if you want to, and just pretty much just pull it up and off to the side, and pretty much there it comes. It's just a small little clip. You're just gonna remove it, and in here the new radiator will have new actually it'll have all this assembly with new rings inside of it. And when it comes to just installing the line, all you gotta do is just press it in pretty much. It's not hard at all. It has its own clamp, as you can see there. It already has its own little clamp in there, and I'm just gonna push it in. I'm gonna have this lined up more or less, and just push it in. That's all you gotta do is just push it in, and it'll lock in place. That's all that's needed. Alright, so that's pretty much how you install a radiator on a Grand Prix. It's pretty much assemble as you disassembled Make sure you fill up, if you're doing this job or this kind of job, make sure you fill it up with antifreeze all the way. Use your correct mixture of antifreeze. You can use 50-50 or 70-30, 30% water, 70% antifreeze. Also, don't forget the most important thing is to check the level on your transmission, because on an automatic, when you remove the lines, you're always going to have some leakage on your transmission fluid, so you want to make sure you want to replenish that at the same time. And the best thing to do is your hoses and all that. I have a little leak from the oil coolant sensor. That's because the seal is not that good on it, so I either have to make one or go out and buy one. But so far so good though. Everything else went in there, everything slipped into place. All I gotta do now is just pretty much fill it up with transmission fluid and coolant, and that's it. That's pretty much it. It has new hoses. I wasn't able to find a thermostat, but it's recommended that you always change out the thermostat anyways. So anyways, I want to thank you guys as always for watching my videos, and that's how you install a radiator on a Grand Prix GTP. Thanks for watching.